Do you wish you can go back in time and avoid certain mistakes with your dog? And do you now know better? From leaving your dog's food out all day to allowing your puppy to do things because they are cute and small, here are the mistakes and lessons I learned from my experience. The first mistake I made with my dog was leaving his food out for him to nibble on throughout the day. While my dog is very good about portioning his food and not overeating, which can become a problem with other dogs, having access to food all day long is bad for their oral hygiene. Every time they eat, it creates the potential for the food to get stuck on their teeth and cause decay. Additionally, the food loses its freshness, diminishing the enjoyment of eating for your dog. My next mistake was positively reinforcing the wrong behavior. It's very easy to accidentally reward unwanted actions. For example, petting or playing with your dog when you get in the house and they jump on you is teaching them that jumping is acceptable. Similarly, telling your dog that they are a good boy when they are reactive or fearful to outside stimuli like another dog reinforces their anxiety. Always ask yourself if you are rewarding desired behavior or unwanted behavior. I also failed to realize that I need to train my dog for different situations that he won't experience in our daily routines. For example, while my dog is more than welcome on the couch at my place, I didn't realize that I needed to teach him to stay off the couch at certain places.
Off, take hold of his collar and just give him direction so that he gets off.
This created a lot of confusion the first time he was over at my friend's place and was not allowed to be on the couch. This mistake extends even further if you have a family dog. Make sure each family member is consistent with what they allow your dog to do. If the dog is not allowed on beds, he should not be allowed on anyone's bed. It's confusing to them to have different rules for different people. Being indecisive with commands was another mistake. When you give a command, you have to commit to having the dog do it. Don't issue a command and give up if your dog refuses to do it. The command should only be asked twice. You can ask the dog to do something once. If they don't listen, you can ask again in a firmer voice. And trust me, sometimes my dog won't listen until I change my voice and tone. At that point, if they don't listen, you have to make them do the command. This sets the expectation of, I am only going to ask you twice before I force you to do it. It conditions your dog to the power of your words and the need to listen and follow through. Another mistake a lot of dog parents make is not giving their dog enough mental stimulation. While I've been good about giving my dog enough physical stimulation, I didn't focus on mental stimulation during certain parts of his journey. While I did go heavy on the mental stimulation when he was a puppy with training and agility courses, once he became a well-trained adult, I forgot about the necessary mental stimulation. Remember that saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Well, contrary to common belief, I taught my 10-year-old dog to wink, and he loved learning it. If you don't care to teach them more commands, you can use snuffle mats to stimulate their instincts or get them puzzles where they have to work hard to earn treats. Mental stimulation can also prevent bad behavior, like the dog's instinct to dig through the trash to satisfy his need to forage. Remember that misbehavior can often be a sign of boredom, so make sure to give your dog plenty of mental stimulation throughout his whole life. Occasionally, I neglected to play enough with my dog. We all get busy with our lives. For example, when I was moving, I neglected my dog. While we understand that playtime is not on your priority list all the time, remember that there are plenty of ways you can give your dog attention, like using your 2-minute stretch break from work to throw the ball around with your dog. You can also get them a lightweight ball to chuck indoors without disturbing your neighbors. Another mistake is giving in to those adorable puppy eyes and offering too many treats. Lots of treats are high in fat and sugar and should be given sparingly. Thankfully, my dog remedied my mistake by leaving the treats lying around. Allowing too much freedom too soon was another mistake. I originally got my dog the retractable leash to give him more freedom, but this is not conducive to leash training. The dog needs to earn freedom. Start with a short bungee leash instead and only allow more freedom once the dog can walk on the leash properly. While I didn't make these specific mistakes, here are other common ones dog owners make. Often, dog owners, especially those who previously had a different breed, don't take the time to understand the needs of their new dog. If you had a Siberian Husky, you might force your new Frenchie to exercise excessively, which they don't need. Don't ignore your new dog's personality and needs. New dog owners often fail to prevent bad behavior before it starts. For example, my dog was potty trained in a weekend because I watched for signs that signaled he needed to go potty. As soon as I saw him circling before wanting to do his business, I would immediately take him outside to relieve himself. The same applies to barking. When your dog gets alert and starts to listen to noises, you can expect him to start barking at the noise shortly. Before your dog goes into full bark mode, distract him from the noise by offering him his favorite toy. Another instance where distracting bad behavior can be useful is when your dog starts to chew on something inappropriate like shoes and furniture. As soon as you see this behavior, stop your dog and offer him his toys that are meant for chewing. Another useful tip during the puppy stage to prevent this chewing behavior is to leave items you don't want chewed out of sight and reach from your dog. If they can't reach it, they can't chew through it. While chewing is normal and should never be suppressed completely, ensure your dog chews on appropriate items. Similarly, you might try to altogether contain their digging behavior. While it might be annoying to see them dig up your brand new flowers, it's on you to teach them where to dig. Take them on trips and allow them to dig on the beach. If you don't have access to any place where they can safely dig, consider getting a sandbox for them to dig in. Aggressive behavior is another one you need to curb before it gets bad. In this case, you might want to avoid public situations, but you need to get your dog comfortable and relaxed in any situation. You can do it safely. Use a muzzle if you need to at first to train your dog to act appropriately. Another potentially dangerous mistake new dog owners make is getting dog toys that are not durable enough. I haven't had these issues with my dog as he is as gentle as can be and never destroys his toys. But certain dogs are aggressive chewers and need durable toys. Get your dog a toy that is indestructible. Dogs like Mastiffs, Rottweilers, and German Shepherds often need durable toys because of their strong bite force. I have never personally used the pee pad as I didn't want to encourage that behavior in the house. But if you do decide to use one, don't make the mistake with your male dog of having a horizontal pee pad. What do I mean by that? Male dogs love to lift their leg when they pee. But when they do this on a pee pad that is horizontally placed on the ground, it's hard for them to hit the pee pad every time. One way to make this easier for them is to invest in pad holders and put the pee pad at an angle. Another mistake, depending on the dog you have, is to let them roam around the house freely. Some dogs have separation anxiety and a lot of energy and will tear up your house when you leave. So, if you don't want to come back to a destroyed house, invest in a kennel or doggy gates that will limit the access your dog has to other parts of the house. And while we're talking about separation anxiety, if you know you have to be away for a long time, one way to check on your dog is to have a camera. I have a Furbo camera that allows me to not only talk to my dog, but also dispense treats to him to let him know that he is being a good boy and that playtime is coming soon. What other mistakes have you made with your dog in the past?